What is going on, guys? It's been a minute, but we're back. Today is the 9th of April. I don't even remember the last time I put up a video, but before I was trading ICT, specifically just reversals, whenever we would hit a swing high or a swing low on the 4 hour or the 1 hour, or like London high or an Asia high, it's pretty much when I would look for a trade, right? And I did that for a bit. I got like two payouts trading ICT concepts, but it just felt like something else was missing. So I started kind of dabbling. At first I fell down a rabbit hole of the slippery slope of just blowing accounts. I blew like I think I blew three funded accounts, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and it was honestly nothing but besides just my discipline. And I think I needed to do that because it taught me that I'm the type of trader who just needs to like take small, consistent wins constantly to keep my confidence up. Um, my confidence in trading, or like my ability to trade rather. So I started stepping away from ICT. I've been learning it. I've been trying to trade it. I've been trying to make it work for about a year and a half now. I think I gave it a good chunk of time. But I wanted to move on to something that kind of made more sense. Wasn't built on like this theory behind their like price being printed by like an algorithm. Whether that's true or not, only the people, only God knows, right? But I just wanted something a little more tangible, something that I can kind of start putting together and make sense. So I did kind of gravitate towards volume profile. Um, I took some time off. I took like some time off, a couple days off, and then I kind of jumped back into it. Use YouTube University to just try to understand the very bare minimum, the basics of volume profile, right? And I wanted to see if I could just make it work with the bare minimum. So really, all I'm using is um, the previous day's value areas, high and low, the previous day point of control, and the previous week. And then what I'll do is I'll also scalp from high volume node to high volume node, which are these right here, these big pushes in volume. Um, and yeah, I did that like just on practice accounts for a couple days while I got like the hang of it. And then I really just jumped right into a fresh eval, right? Um, yeah, so I pretty much took this week off. I took like a couple days of the week before off. And when I say off, I mean like trading like evaluations or funded accounts. I really was just focusing on like a practice account, trying to understand it, trying to get a grasp of it. And I I passed the challenge in about, what was it, 4 days, and really just scalping, just going for 12 and a half points or 12.75 points, is what I did to kind of cover commissions and stuff like that. And then it would either be one contract or two. I started off with just trading one contract here. And then once I had that W, then I scaled up to two contracts. So we risking 500 to make 510. Um, And then yeah, pretty much the same thing here and here, right? So I was able to pass this today, and I just kind of wanted to go over, I guess, my trades from here, right? And a lot of what I'm doing is like when market opens, I'll go for I usually take my first trade after like 9:35, give the market a couple minutes to kind of breathe, get all the craziness out, all like the on market orders to kind of push out. And then all I really do is I just trade the point of control on the fixed volume profile indicator, right? So that was a practice account. Let's see what the actual account is. Mm-mm. This was the actual combine. Yep, April. So what price? This is like my bread and butter. I like to kind of hit it between like not hit these trades between like 9:35 and 10 o'clock. I feel like price is like the most erratic there. And you'll find, if you just use this tool, I put it on at 9:30 specifically. I'll put it on at 9:30. Um, And then I got it. If you just watch how price reacts to this in real time, just take some time tomorrow at open and just watch how price reacts to this line in real time. It doesn't do it justice here, but when you're watching, the market kind of pushing back and forth, um, and the buyers and sellers interacting at this level, it's typically a pretty common bounce spot. And I usually always can pull, shouldn't say always, but there's a very high, it's like a 90% chance that I'm going to pull 12 and a half points out of it before I lose 12 and a half points. Right. So I literally just set limit orders. I wait for it. Sometimes I won't wait for it to break through and retest. Sometimes it'll just tap. And once it taps, it'll slowly retrace. Like, or I'm sorry, it'll retrace sharply and then it'll come back up and blow through. But I usually can pull 12 points out of it with no, I mean, 12 and a half points out of it with no problem. But this was the first trade on Friday um, on that combine. And if you go to Monday, um, yeah, I upped it to two contracts, but still shooting for about 12 and a half to 12 and 3 and 0.75 points. Um, and yeah, this one was the point of control of overnight high volume node break and retest going with trend. So what this box is here, I pretty much drew the fixed volume profile from, I think it was midnight until at current time. And when I did that, I showed this nice node. I saw we were interacting with it. It didn't look like price was going to shoot back up to the current point of control, which is right here. And so yeah, I just took a stab. Excuse me. My risk was defined. It's either I'm going to lose 500 or I'm going to make 500. It's as simple as that. And yeah, pretty much it put me in. I barely missed a stop out, and then it went right down and hit it there. So that was a good one. And then I think yeah, this was on the eval as well. I pushed a little bit more, so made 500 on the first trade to manage risk and make sure I still had a green day. I lowered my contract size back down to one. And like I said before, I put a limit order right here, and then price ticked me in, came back down about 12 and a half points, and maybe even a little bit more. I don't remember exactly. And then, um, yeah, but I was out before it came back through and pushed through this, right? And you can see it's right at that nine. And I know it's kind of cut off, but you can see it's right at that 9:45 mark. A lot of my trades you'll see are in between like 9:35 and 9:50, sometimes 10. Um, but that was that. That was the Monday. Let's look at Tuesday. This was a really good day actually. This is a limit order here. So we sharply pushed through it, and then we looked the my context behind it was like we were in like this bullish trend, and we came back down. We came down far enough. Price looked really bullish. We were kind of starting to push up hard. So I thought, hey, why don't I? I'm not. I think I missed the I think I either missed the tap or the point of control flipped because it'll do that since there's so much volume during this time, it'll like the point of control could have been here, and then within a second with my limit order there before it's about to hit it might flop to here, right? And then I'll get out, but you have to kind of use your discretion with it. So I think what had happened here is once we came up sharply, um, the point of control flipped to here. I set a limit order, and it once we came back down, we tapped it, and that was it. I was able to go in there and pull a quick 500 out. And then this one was interesting: point of control break and retest. Sold one at 16 points and sold the other at 22 points. So yeah, I was playing with profits. I knew I was up 500, so I was going to risk 500. If it lost, I would just leave it a break even day. No harm, no foul. Um, and then I was gonna scale, and then I decided to kind of scale out and give myself a chance to earn a little bit more. So I pulled one at like I said, 16 points. This is a, we the context here is, we're kind of in this defined range, um, right around 950 here to here, I guess. And the point of control came through. We broke through it, waiting for a retest at this node right here, this point of control for the current session, and we hit it. I just missed getting wicked out. Sometimes it'll wick me out and it'll go, but it didn't here. I took one off at 16. I think it actually slipped me down to 16. I tried taking off at 12 and a half, but I think price moved so fast and I just couldn't hit the sell, like the buy button fast enough to kind of get myself out of the sell. And then as we were going down, I was like, all right, I had to be careful because I can't do more than 1500. Um, Profit for this account for this combine because then it would break the rule. So I just quickly got out around 20, 22 points, and that was cool. That was a fairly easy trade. I had to be quick on my fingers, but because it moves so fast. And then today, so as you can see, like I literally went 3 days and multiple trades. So it's about 6 trades without losing. Not going to happen every time, but it definitely felt great, especially after I've been losing so much prior to this, trading ICT. Um, but yeah, so today was good. So it tested me a little bit, but we had a break and retest. You can see price literally stopped at the tick of the point of control. And this is only a couple minutes in. So one, two, three. So it's 9:34. This is usually a little bit. This is actually a little bit earlier than I usually trade, um, for this specific strategy, but it worked perfectly. Limit order here, ticked me in, and it was pretty much instantaneous. We kind of we pulled right back out, right? And I pulled 500 out of that. So if you see the balance, it was at 52.7. So I was like, all right, I can just do one contract. I'll risk 250, try to make 250, and we can pass this. And I did that, and I lost. I lost a trade here, and I think this is my normal point of control break and retest. It could have just been like the probabilities weren't in my favor, right? Just I really didn't do anything wrong. It just failed. That just happens sometimes with any type of trade, right? So the only thing I could kind of pinpoint, because I'm always trying to improve, is it was against the trend. Like we had this really sharp push up. Price isn't really looking like it wants to go down. Um, but then again, it really doesn't look like it wants to go down until it goes down, right? So I don't know. I think this is fine. Nothing I really did wrong here, but this one lost. So I was still up about 220. But as you can see, I only need 500 to pass. I was like, all right, it's not a trailing drawdown prop, it's Topstep. So why don't I just risk the full five? Um, and then I'll only be down 250 for the day, and I can lock it up. I can try again tomorrow. That's what I did. Um, so yeah, I risked the five here, and as you can see, we had a really nice sharp push through. This was a little bit later in the day, and I think that we had a point of control flip. I forgot where it was specifically, but we flipped, and then once I saw, oh yeah, I think I forgot exactly what happened. Yeah, point of control just flipped here. So it flipped. I set a limit order as quickly as possible. Um, we tapped it and pretty much came right up. We about 10 points of drawdown probably, but we pulled it right off, right? And now, we hit the threshold for 53 um on the eval, so now I'll be trading a funded account. And this was kind of, like I said, I just started trading volume profile literally last week. Um, but I think I've just been trading and just watching candlesticks print for so long that it's easier for someone like me versus someone who's just getting into trading to pick something up like this. Um, and then plus risk management and psychology are the other two pillars, right? And I think I built risk management is solid. So far as I can tell. one-to-one trading. If I'm already in profit and I decide to take another trade, I'm allowed to risk that full profit. And I try to scale one at the normal 12 and a half, and then I let the other one run, as long as it possibly can. I think it makes sense. Um, Psychology is really just not over trading and waiting for the point of control setups. It's super simple. Literally just have to wait. So it's simplified my trading quite a bit. Um, and who knows? I can go on a losing streak as soon as I get this funded account, and that would just that's just part of the learning phase too. But yeah, this is how I was able to pass my first trading combine using volume profile, um, and just scalping, just straight old scalping. So one-to-one trading, 88.89% win rate. Um, these are the best stats I've ever had on a combine. And honestly, it's trading is like enjoyable again, right? Um, when I was trading ICT or ICT concepts, it's not that they don't work. I've seen them work real time. I've traded live with people who use them and pull out, who've made 30, 40, 50K in a month trading ICT concepts and prop firms. But for I I'm sure if I would stick with it and maybe who knows, 6 months, maybe a month, 6 months, 2 years from now, I'll be able to to be at that level trading ICT, but I just don't want to give it that much longer. And so far from what I've found, this is I enjoy this a lot more. So anyone who's trading ICT, or those concepts, or even if you're trading support and resistance, if you've been trading something for, I would say, a year or more, um, I think kind of have to like, just take a step back and say, okay, does it make sense to hop strategies, right? Does it make sense to start trying to subscribe to a different ideology of how price works and how price moves? And usually I feel like the answer would be yes, because if you've been trying for a year to make something work, and for you specifically, it's not working, right? I really think it's okay in this particular instance to do that, right? And to be okay with doing that, right? Um, because the definition of insanity is doing the same exact thing over and over and over again and expecting a different outcome. So, yeah, I guess I'm trading volume profile now. I'm gonna give it a solid 3 to 6 months to really dive into it. I'm not putting any pressure on myself to pull out payouts. I'm really just taking this time to learn how to trade with volume profile. Um, yeah, and that's really it. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for checking in, and we'll see you soon.